How about that season finale, huh? So last night was the season finale of Game of Thrones. Season 3, it's all wrapped up now. I know this video is coming to you guys on Wednesday, but I'm recording it on Monday. But before I start this video, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me, liked all my videos, and commented on all of them. We've been going through this for quite a few weeks now, you and I. We have been together for 11 weeks now, and I think that's a pretty big deal. So thank you to all subscribers, new and old. I'm glad you guys love Game of Thrones as much as I do, and I love getting all the comments and stuff every week. Seriously, cannot thank you guys enough, and to all the new subscribers. I think I've gotten probably 100 subscribers just because of these videos. So with that being said, thank you guys so much, and this is my Game of Thrones Season 3 finale video. So this is episode 10, and it's called Misa, as we all know, which is from the end of the episode, obviously, when all the slaves come out of Yunkai and they're calling Dany mother, which I think is the fucking cutest thing in the world, but we'll get to that later. So the episode starts off with Bolton, and he's walking up to the top of the tower, and he's just kind of looking at the chaos all down below as all of the Stark soldiers are being brutally, and I mean brutally, murdered. And then, of course, Arya's with the Hound still, and she wakes up just in time to have Robb's body paraded outside with his wolf's head attached to it. Seriously, that is really uncool. And then we get to switch to King's Landing, and we have Tyrion and Sansa, and these two guys walk by them, and Tyrion's just kind of making a list of people like Arya does, except his is just a list of people to intimidate, not a list of people to kill. So pretty much they're actually kind of bonding about, being outcasts and stuff, while Shae is accompanying behind them. So it's kind of sad because they're kind of bonding and stuff and developing this relationship. And poor Shae, Sansa doesn't even know that, Shae and Tyrion are together. So they're just discussing sheep-shifting the beds when Pod runs up to Tyrion and he's like, "Oh, yay, small council meeting has been called, you're needed right away." So Tyrion runs off to the council meeting, and who better to greet him, who most joyously and wonderful to greet him but Joffrey. So of course he's being a little douche over there on the other side of the table, and he's all excited because Catelyn and Robb are dead now, and friggin' frig off, you're talking, that's your wife, that's Tyrion's wife's mother and brother, you disrespectful little asshole. It sucks too, because this is just Tyrion finding out now, and of course, he's, flabbergasted, and, you see dread just, fill his face, because, not only will he have to tell Sansa, but, he's gonna have to deal with the aftermath of this. So Joffrey kind of goes on to be a disgusting little cretin, like he is, and so he kind of says how he's gonna serve Robb's head on a platter to Sansa at his wedding. No you are not. Luckily, everyone, though, they kind of, stick up for her kind of thing. Well, they're not really sticking up for her, but they're kind of this is sick and twisted. People can't really know about this. So Joffrey gets shut down pretty quickly, but too late, Tyrion threatens him, much to everyone's kind of, silence and dismay there for a moment. And, this is the moment where I truly realize, how are they letting this disgusting, perverted little child run anything? He's ruling a kingdom, how are they letting him still do this? He's obviously not fit for it. He's a psychopath. Seriously, people. So then Joffrey even goes so far as to literally outright, insult Tywin, which actually ends up getting him sent to bed like the little child he is. So everyone leaves but Tywin and Tyrion, as usual lately. So they talk about armies and power, and basically Tywin is implying that he's the most powerful man in Westeros, and how Joffrey doesn't know shit. True, but he could be a little more humble. So Tyrion is rightfully upset about how they killed off Cat and Robb at a wedding instead of on the battlefield. Tyrion even rightfully doubts that Tywin did it to save anyone else's life. He only did it for selfish reasons, as usual. And then you really realize here how freaking condescending Tywin is. He thinks he knows everything. This is even where the line, "the Northerners will never forget," comes in, and fucking right they won't. Tywin thinks, though, that that's gonna teach them not to, go against the South again, but I have a feeling this is gonna freaking come back in your face one day. And then Tywin even goes so far as to basically suggest that Tyrion should rape Sansa. Like, you disgusting, cold, ruthless bastard. Like, are you freaking serious? Like, fuck you, Tywin. Like, who do you think you are? He is seriously under some sort of delusion that he's doing all of this for his family and not for, like, himself. Like, I don't understand where that's coming from. Like, I think that's just what he's telling himself now, because he's literally not doing very many things to make his family happy. Well, that's kind of the point. He's doing it to keep them alive, not to keep them happy, but you're kind of destroying your family in the process. And, like, I hate to tell you, Tywin, but there is nothing at all honorable about killing infants, raping wives, or killing your opposition at a wedding without even letting them fight back. Just saying, Tywin. Nothing honorable in that shit, and you're all about being noble and junk. Tywin even finally does reveal information about how he actually wanted to murder his own child when Tyrion was born for basically killing his wife, but, like, it's not his fault. But anyway, he revealed how he actually wanted to kill his child, and he thinks he should get Daddy of the Year because he didn't murder his own son. So congrats, Tywin, you are a douchebag. So now that bullshit is over, Tyrion ends up leaving and he goes to talk to Sansa, and she's looking out a window, and I've seen it twice now, but I couldn't really tell if, like, they were kind of letting on that she knew now, or if she was just looking out the window and then Tyrion realized he couldn't tell her and then leaves the room. I don't know, I guess we'll find out next season. So then we're to Bran and friends, and they are finding a place in this castle near the wall to stay for the night, and then Bran ends up telling this really creepy, disturbing story about the rat cook and how he, like, served up the king's child to him, and the king liked him so much that he wanted more, and then the gods turned him into a giant white rat because he did that. But they didn't curse him because of that, really. They cursed him because they killed a guest under his roof, and apparently the gods really hate that, so I sense foreshadowing here. Don't tell me if it is, but I sense foreshadowing. Well, you can tell me if it is, but, like, don't tell me who it's foreshadowing for. So then we get to see two more lovely villains, Walder Frey and Roose Bolton. Fucking hate you guys. So they're talking about Blackfish and how he escaped, and they're talking about fucking what all just happened with the Red Wedding and shit. And then Frey is basically going on and on about how he's spent his whole life pissed off because everyone's judging him for marrying young. And it's like, seriously? You killed them? And oh my god, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, oh, you poor muffin, people were judging you because you married young, and now you're excited to go do it again, you fucking pighead. Like, I hate these characters both so much now, and they need to die. Can they please die? So then they lead into the next segment, and they're talking about Winterfell, which leads into talking about Ramsay, which leads into talking about how Ramsay's torturing Theon right now. So then we skip to poor Theon, and Ramsay's, like, eating a sausage, and Theon's over there being all sad, and it's really, really sad. Like, Theon literally begs Ramsay to kill him. Begs him to. Like, you friggin' sick bastard. And then, of course, Ramsay gets this really dumb idea of renaming Theon. So it's not enough that you've humiliated him, tortured him, and literally cut off his dick. Now you want to rename him Reek because he's highborn and because you don't like him, pretty much. So literally, Ramsay makes him renounce his own name and makes Theon literally say, "My name is Reek," instead of Theon Greyjoy. Like, fucking little prick. So we're back to Bran and friends, and they're still in the tower, and they're all sleeping, and they wake up to hear this noise, and it sounds all creepy, and, like, these moaning noises, and I'm like, it sounds kind of like it's supposed to be a ghost or something. But then, who is it? But it's Sam and Gilly! Oh my god, I was so excited when that happened. Like, oh, I guess you'll see my reaction video, or if you haven't, you should go fucking watch it. But Holy crap, it was so awesome. I was so excited that it was Sam and Gilly that found them. And then, of course, I think Jojen or Mira, I forget which one, like, shush Bran from telling him who he is and stuff. And then Sam obviously just figures it out, and he's like, oh my god, you're Jon's brother! And that's Hodor! And stuff, and they're all just kind of like, fuck. They kind of have, like, this cute moment reunion thing here, and then Bran brings up his, like, unnecessary request again. Like, it's a little much to ask this of people, to take you north of the wall, Bran. I don't think you realize that yet. So of course Sam's like, no, I want you to go to Castle Black with me, and they're all kind of like, sorry, we can't do that, and so they kind of have this, like, understanding, and Jojen brings up the White Walkers and stuff, and Sam just kind of like, how in the hell did you know that? And he's just kind of like, I just knew. And so then it's like, basically that leads into like the Dragon Glass. So then we go to the Iron Islands, and we're with Theon's father and Yara, and he's just received a note with a box. And he starts reading the note, and he realizes that a bit of Theon might be in that box, and of course they open it, and then Theon's dad's a douche, and he's like, no, I'm not going to get Theon, and Yara's like, what the fuck is your son? So Yara isn't having it at all, and she says she's gonna take the fastest ship in the fleet. She's gonna take 50 of the best killers in the Iron Islands, and she is going to go down the Narrow Sea, and she is going to go to the Dreadfort, and she is going to rescue Theon. It's just like, yes! Finally someone's gonna help fucking Theon! Like, finally! Like, I really hope this works out. And we skip right back to Bran and friends, who are now with Sam and Gilly, so we have two timelines have merged now. So Sam's explaining how he found the Dragon Glass at the Fist of the First Men, and I don't understand when he took all of it. Like, I guess he probably did the first time they were there, but, like, I'm surprised they waited this long to reveal it, I guess. But I guess this makes sense as to why he didn't go back and get the weapon now, because he had a shit ton of it all along. So Sam basically gives them each a weapon to do with the Dragon Glass, and then they lead them downstairs to the tunnel, and they go through the tunnel, and then they kind of like say their goodbyes and stuff, and I'm really excited for the continuation of this next season. I think this part is gonna get seriously interesting. So we're gonna be north of the wall with all the White Walkers and Bran and friends and the wargs and all the wildlings, and I think shit's about to get fucking crazy. So then we flip to Gendry, who, as we know, is still with Stannis, and then Sir Davos ends up coming up to the cell and, you know, sitting with him, and they have this kind of like bonding session over being like both from Flea Bottom. So it's actually really cute, and like you can really see like Sir Davos's like humanity, you know, like not that he is like an inhumane person like half the characters in the show, but like you really see this kind of like softer side of him, I guess, because he's kind of like, he's like, I get it, man, like we're from the same place, and I just thought it was cute because they like bonded. So basically they end up like talking a bit, and then he ends up telling Gendry like how he got into this like with Stannis and stuff, and how he like kind of like helped him out, so he went from being like living in Flea Bottom to being like a knight or something, I guess. Well, the Hand of the King. And then he also, before he leaves, he adds that his son died following him. So, sad note. We're back to King's Landing, and it's actually, we're going from Varys now, and he's coming to talk to Shae, and he pretty much brings up all this stuff, and he basically wants her to leave and go off and create another life somewhere else, somewhere nicer, across the sea, and he's sure she can have, like, suitors, like, all lined up and stuff, but, like, Shae obviously doesn't take it the right way, and she takes it as this is Varys saying this for Tyrion, when in fact it's not. So Varys reveals like why he wants her to leave, and it's because he believes she's a danger to Tyrion, actually, and to the future of Westeros, because Varys rightfully believes that Tyrion's really smart and he's gonna have a big part in like what happens in Westeros as it continues like growing. But of course, you know, Shae still takes it the wrong way and storms off. Then we skip to Tyrion, since we were just talking about Tyrion, and then Pod is drinking with him, and they're basically seeing, like, basically I think Tyrion's just kind of in a rut right now, and then Cersei comes in, and she's like, off with you, Pod, and then she kind of sits down with him and they start a little chat. They end up mostly discussing Sansa and how she's not happy, and then they talk about how, you know, Cersei's still into the delusion that she's not marrying Sir Loras, so we'll see how that goes. And then Cersei actually talks about how she thinks it may be best to give Sansa children, because then like her, basically her children are the only thing that kept her alive. So we actually get like a nice look at Cersei's humanity for once. So Cersei actually admits that if it weren't for her children, she would have killed herself long ago, literally thrown herself out a window. So that's pretty dramatic, Cersei, but living with Robert Baratheon, I can see that. So then we're back to Arya and the Hound, and they come upon this kind of sorrow-looking bunch of fellows who they're just kind of like eating or something by a campfire, and so Arya hears them talking about robbing Cat, basically, so the Red Wedding, like what happened in Junk, and so she's instantly like, holy shit, like she's not happy, so she jumps off the horse, and she sneaks up behind one of the guys who's talking, and then the guys behind him are kind of like, okay, what's happening, and then she ends up being all innocent and stuff, and she shows him the coin that Jaqen gave her, and basically she just innocently, like, murders him, like, shanks him to death with this little knife. So of course the Hound jumps in and he kills the others, and then at the end of it he's just kind of like, next time could you please warn me before you do that, just let me in on the plan. So Arya's now killed her first man, and then the scene actually ends with her looking at the coin, right? So it kinda, and then she actually still says it, she remembers it's Valar Morghulis, and she says it, so I really hope this means that she's going to go, and she's gonna go find Jaqen and Braavos, or wherever the hell he went, and she's gonna, like, train to be, like, an assassin like him, like, that would be so cool, and I think that would be, like, an awesome turn of events. Then we get back to Jon finally, and then who's caught up but Ygritte? Ygritte looks pissed and upset, and Jon is trying to explain to her, like, you should have known all along this is who I am, and, like, he wants to go home and stuff, and Ygritte's not having it, and she's sad, and then Jon admits that he loves her, and then she just, like, is kind of like, and it's just, like, it's so freaking cute, this part, like, he admits that he loves her, and then he knows she loves him too, and basically she ends up shooting him with an arrow. And then she just continuously shoots at him until he's far away on the horse and she can't anymore, and then they just zoom in on her face, and just the look on her face is like, it's heartbreaking because you know he was right and that she loves him, but, like, she can't do anything about it now. Like, he's betrayed the wildlings and he's kind of betrayed the crows too, so I don't know what he's gonna do about this. So we're back to Castle Black, and Sam and Gilly have gotten there, and oh my god, it's cute. They're just kind of talking to the Maester, and then, Sam and Gilly are talking, and Gilly ends up naming her son right then and there, and she names him Sam, and it's so cute. So he explains kind of why he did what he did, and why he saved Gilly, and, like, the danger ahead, and then instantly the Maester's kind of like, okay, well, let's get to work here, you go get a pen and quill, and I hope your writing is better than your sword fighting, so let's write this message down, and make sure all the crows are fed, or the ravens, because they're fucking flying off tonight, and we have a message to deliver all of Westeros. So we're back to Sir Davos again, and then he's reading letters and stuff, and then Shireen's with him, and she's saying how she wants him to read the books because they're more interesting and stuff, but he's kind of like, no, I can't, like, I gotta keep Stannis informed. So he starts reading the letter, and the next letter, and obviously it's one of the ones Sam sent. So he ends up going upstairs, I guess, to go see Stannis and Mel, and they end up, like, talking and stuff, and Sir Davos is obviously not happy because Stannis is basically saying he'll protect the realm by any means necessary, like killing innocents, etc. He'll do anything it takes. So basically he's saying, I will kill Gendry if it means saving the realm. And Sir Davos ain't having none of that. So we have a bit of a night skip here, so it's suddenly nighttime, and Sir Davos, he goes and gets Gendry, and he frees him, basically, and helps him out, gets him in a boat, gets him off, and it's funny, because Gendry's like, I can't swim, I've never ridden in a boat before, like, you know, I'm gonna take this boat all the way to King's Landing. Good luck with that, Gendry. So then we just get this brief thing with Jon, and he ends up getting to Castle Black and dropping off his horse right outside the gate. They drag him inside, and they're like, oh my god, Jon, you're alive! And then John's just kind of like, I'm barely alive. And so they kind of like, bring him inside. And it takes like 6 guys to carry him. But they get him in, John's safe. And then we skip to Jamie in King's Landing. So Brienne and him are entering King's Landing. And it's funny because like no one recognizes him, right? He just looks like a country boy or like whatever. And then we flip to Cersei, who's in her room playing with some sort of weird shell thing. And then all of a sudden Jamie comes to the door. And then he's just like, Cersei. And she turns around and she just has this look of pure shock on her face, and it's actually really cute because she loves him and she misses him, and just like it just ends there. And I wanted it to continue because I want to know what the bloody hell is gonna happen, and it's not fair that they just ended that there and it's the last episode of the season. If there was another episode of the season, I would have been okay with it, but there isn't. Not cool. So then we're back to Sir Davos for the millionth time this episode, which is awesome because I love him. And he's basically confessing to having released Gendry. I don't get why you wouldn't have just lied, but like, it's kind of making me realize here how much of an honorable, noble guy Sir Davos really is. Like, he could just say, no, I didn't, and just like deny it. But he doesn't. He says, he admits it. He's like, yeah, I did. And they're just kind of like, well, why wouldn't you just, like, lie to us? And just kind of like, no, like, I did it. Like, he's really honorable here, and he's not gonna lie to his king. So Stannis ends up sentencing him to death. And, of course, Sir Davos stops him briefly when he's like, well, the White Walkers, blah, 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 you'll need me. And then Stannis doesn't change his mind, but Melisandre changes his mind. And this is the first time in the show I could ever thank Melisandre for doing anything. So thank you for saving Sir Davos' life. And she is actually right about one thing. The war isn't, like, in Westeros anymore. It's north, and everyone's gonna need to band together sooner or later. Like, it's no longer about who's king anymore. It's about saving the country, or kingdom, or realm, or whatever. But thank God Sir Davos was spared. I would have been so mad if he died. So then we're in Yunkai, and yay, Dany, and she's like standing up on this hill with Jorah and Sir Barristan and her translator woman and her dragons and all the armies around her. They're just watching Yunkai and they're waiting for the gates to open. Then all of a sudden they open and all the slaves come out, and it's just like this elated moment of like, yes, they did it! And at the same time it's beautiful because they freed themselves. They decided to go against their masters and join in their own freedom. Like, as the translator starts to say, like, Dany may have given them the cause for freedom, but she didn't free them, they freed themselves. And that is like a beautiful inspirational message that they give us here at the end of this show. So after Dany tells them how they won their own freedom, that she had nothing to do with it, they all start yelling Misa at her. And as we know, that means mother, as in like mother of dragons. So a whole crowd is shouting Misa, like Misa, Misa at her. And like, she's just like, when she finds out it means mother, she's just, you can tell she's like elated, like she's so happy and overwhelmed, and she descends and she goes into the crowd, and the crowd just embraces her, and they're just so happy to have her there. None of them are gonna hurt her. She just walks through the crowd, and they end up picking her up on their shoulders, and they're still all chanting Misa and turning around, and the dragons are flying in the sky overhead, and it's all magical and majestic. And then in the ending, just the ending shot, all the hands reaching out to her, which is also beautiful, and like Dany's just looks so happy. Like, she did this for them, but at the same time, they did this for themselves, and this is what she's always wanted, you can tell. Like, these people will follow her to, like, the ends of the world kind of thing. Like, she freed them. And it's just so cute, all the hands reaching forward, and she just looks so happy, and oh my god, it's adorable. And thank God this ending wasn't traumatic at all. We had enough trauma in the last episode, so glad that was a perfect end to the episode. So that wasn't the most action-packed episode, and I did expect a little more, like, craziness to happen, but honestly, I thank God that there was not. So let me tell you why. We're gonna have to wait months and months and months, like 9 months I think, until this next episode in the 4th season, and I don't want to spend 9 months wondering or being traumatized or depressed by characters dying. And I would like this like nicely wrapped up ending. It's beautiful, it's nicely done, it's complete, and I don't have to worry. And be afraid for my characters for the next, like, 9 months. So I'm very excited for the next season, and holy crap, they're gonna traumatize us in the next season too. Like, I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. Like, they've picked off 2 main characters now, it's only a matter of time before they pick off more. So, this is the season finale, and this is the end of my review video, I guess. A few things to add. This is not going to be my final Game of Thrones review video, obviously. It's not even going to be the final one for the next 9 months. I have a few other videos in mind, just like kind of wrap up ones. Like, I'm going to make a predictions video on all the predictions I have for the next season, so that should be fun. I'm also eventually going to rewatch the entire season, so when I do that, I will make a review video of just the entire season, so like before the next season we can all kind of like have something to look at and talk about, and we'll all know what's up. And then I think I'll do a video discussing like themes and just like a few key points of the season, and I actually decided I think I'm going to do something fun with that. Instead of just kind of talking at you guys, I'm going to do kind of an interactive 2-part video, and the first part is going to be where I announce what the video is. Well, it's gonna be basically like a funny like award thing, and I'm gonna give awards to the characters, I guess, for like most badass moment, best actress, you know, most douchebaggy villain, like stuff like that. So I'm gonna do something like that, and then you guys can all vote in the comments, and then I'll tally them all up for the different sections, and then I'll make a video about them, and then I can discuss why the hell they deserve that. And I will definitely do dissection things for the trailers that will come out for season 4, but I'm sure that's not going to be out for a long time yet, but I'll do one for that when that comes out. So one more thing before I wrap this video up. I know you guys like watching these, so are there any other shows you would want me to do this for? Cause I need something until Breaking Bad restarts in August. So I'm gonna start doing Breaking Bad Mondays for a few months, which will be fun, I think. I don't know if you guys like Breaking Bad, but if you don't, go watch it. But I do watch True Blood, I guess, and that starts next Sunday, so if you guys really like True Blood, I guess I could do it for True Blood, but if there's anything else, let me know. I have a lot more show reviews to do, of shows I've already watched, not to mention movies, so I could just do, like, I don't know, like a movie review every Monday or something, if that's what you guys want, but let me know. So, thank you guys for watching so much again. Like, comment, subscribe below, and my name is Catherine Bogle, and you just watched my review of Game of Thrones Season 3, the finale, final episode, Mhysa. So, thanks for watching, and this was my review. I will see you guys again in a couple days.